Hello friends, welcome back. How's everyone doing? It's been a little bit since I posted something and I apologize. Life has been it's been crazy. I'm sure you know all this COVID stuff that's been happening. It hasn't been easy for anyone. I think the overall energy of the collective has been really off and things have been weird and different and definitely hard to cope with. We've never had to do this before, so yeah, we're learning what to do step by step. So in other news, there's a hurricane happening right now. I live in South Florida, so this thing happens this time of year every summer. Luckily though, it is only a Category 1. That's like kid stuff for us. I was kind of playing in the rain earlier. I got caught in it after Publix, and as I was walking to my car, I was just like letting it all come down and really enjoying it. It's kind of a really warm rain, so it felt really nice, kind of cleansing. So anyway, jumping into it, today I'm going to show you how to make shower steamers. I wanted to delve a little bit off of skincare and do a little more essential oils and some DIY stuff. So I'm going to be going back and forth with these kinds of things. But so shower steamers are pretty much like a bath bomb, except for the shower. It's really nice. It's kind of like a pampering aromatherapy. So as the water hits the shower steamer, it will slowly start to disintegrate with the baking soda and then release the essential oils into the shower. I love to have fresh eucalyptus hanging in my shower. It's a really excellent plant to have because the heat and the steam from the shower kind of activates the oils in the eucalyptus and it makes it extremely therapeutic. It's like a little spa in there. So with the shower steamers, it's kind of going to do the same type of thing for you depending on what essential oils you choose. So I'm going to use 2 different ones, but you can definitely pick whatever you feel like you're going to want. It's one whole batch, so make sure you're going to be happy with what you're choosing because this will make a decent amount of shower steamers. So I'm going to show you what we're going to need. Real quick, I'm going to show you outside. This is Opal, if you haven't met her yet, so she's super excited. So the hurricane, it was raining a lot harder a minute ago, but it's still kind of going at it. If I get any closer, I'm going to get wet. It just started, so not crazy yet. Okay. This is what you're gonna need. So, first things first. You can get a mold if you want. This one is a little soap mold I got off of Amazon. I think it's really beautiful and I love the little geometric patterns in here. So that's why I chose this. I don't remember how much it was, but it wasn't too much. You can use an ice cube tray or any kind of mold that you want just to put your steamer inside of it. So that's the first thing. Then, of course, you need to have your essential oils. So you can pick whatever you want. I'm going to use 2. So lavender and eucalyptus. I'm using these 2 because eucalyptus is excellent for the shower. It definitely opens up your sinuses, helps with breathing. And then the lavender, of course, is extremely calming, really nice for a relaxing shower. So we're getting some therapeutic benefits from these oils. Then, of course, a measuring thing, cup. I forgot what it was called for a second. So you can have the right proportions. Also, you're going to need baking soda. I will tell you the amounts while we're going. Then we're going to need some cornstarch. Citric acid is also another thing. This also helps to disperse all of the oils, so everything is evenly distributed. I am going to put a couple of rose petals in here. You don't have to put anything in it. I just have these and I thought they would make them really pretty. You're going to want also a little measuring spoon because we're going to need to add 2 tablespoons of water at the end. And also optional is some coloring if you want your shower steamers to have a color. I don't mess with food coloring. It's not really great for you, kind of chemically. So I'm going to use some raw beetroot powder, try and make them pinky. And a bowl, of course, is always handy. I'm also going to use a sifter to put in here just so all of the dry ingredients that we're using aren't clumpy. So there there's that, and that's all we're gonna need. One other thing I didn't mention is if you want to have some gloves, I'm going to put them on when we mix everything together, because sometimes the essential oils can be a little overpowering, and you might have a reaction if you're touching them in that big of a quantity. So I'm gonna put these on when that time comes. All right, so I've never made these before, ever. So yeah, I don't know how it's gonna turn out, but the consistency should be fine, so I'm not too worried about it. So let's just jump right in. I'm gonna wing it and see what happens. All right, so baking soda, we're gonna need 1 cup. So I'm gonna measure out my ingredients here. I don't know, should I put it into here? I guess let's just do it that way. I definitely am getting this all over the table. What is my life? All right, that was exactly a cup that I had left in here. Good thing, because I didn't buy any more at the store. Okay, so 1 cup of sifted baking soda. Okay, next we're gonna need a 1/2 cup of citric acid. This is already pretty powdery, so you don't really need to sift it. Now we're gonna need 1/2 cup of cornstarch as well. Cornstarch. I don't even know why I have this. I'm gonna sift this too, and considering this is already a disaster area, I don't even care about making more of a mess. Who let me do this without trying it first? Oh well, all in good fun. Right, now I'm gonna mix some of this together. Now I'm gonna add a little bit of our coloring. So again, the raw beetroot powder. I think at this point I'm gonna put my gloves on because I don't want to turn pink. Beets tend to do that. All right. I ripped it. I always do that. All right. Alright, so kind of pink, not really. I'm gonna do a little bit more here. Alright, if that doesn't make it pink, then I don't care anymore. See, I've never done this, so I don't know the proportions. But I figure if you're watching this video, you've never done it either. So it's kind of fun to see me make mistakes, so you don't make the same ones. I think I'm about like 2 tablespoons in, and it's pink. I think it's pink enough, I'm happy. All right. Now we can add our essential oils. And then I'm gonna put a little bit of my rose petals in after. So this kind of batch, you wanna do about 100 drops, which is a decent amount. Now I'm gonna do 50 lavender. So as the essential oils disperse, you'll notice it'll start getting a little clumpy, which is fine because towards the end, we're gonna want it like a wet sand texture, which is kind of what's happening already. It smells freaking amazing. I love Eucalyptus radiata from Young Living. It's so, so beautiful. All right, now I'm gonna add a little bit of my rose petals. These are dried organic rose petals from Amazon. My cat just freaked out. Anyway, so I don't want to have too many because these are going to be on the bottom of my shower and I don't want them all stuck in the drain. It's more of an aesthetic. So I think that's good, just a little bit of a handful. Take me home. All right, beautiful. Okay, so these are almost at the right consistency, but you're gonna want it a little bit more wet so that when you grab it, it stays in its form. So the recipe calls for 2 tablespoons of water, but you wanna add it very gradually so that it's not too wet. And they're also, it's starting to clump a little bit already because of the essential oils. So we don't have to add too much water. So I'm gonna grab my little guy here and some water. I like this alkaline water from Whole Foods. Okay, so I'm gonna start with, and as I pour it, I'm gonna, see it's starting to fizz a little bit already. All right, so it's getting that wet sand texture. I'm gonna need a little bit more. Obviously, the water is the activator here, so it'll start doing its thing with the fizzing. I don't know if I'm gonna need a whole other tablespoon, so I'm just gonna pour a touch in here. Whoops, maybe not. Tiny little bits, you see it fizzing? These are gonna look beautiful with the rose petals, and it actually got pretty pink. It's almost a red. So maybe put a little less beetroot powder or whatever you're using as your coloring. But again, eyeball it. All right, so I think we're at the point where I can start stuffing this. See, that's what you're gonna want. I'm gonna start stuffing this into my mold. So I hope you can see it. Okay, so we're done, I think. I finished packing this, so everything is very nicely pushed into the mold. Definitely go little by little so you make sure you're filling everything out. And I tried to level off the top so that when I take them out, they're flat and not kind of lumpy. I just did that by just pushing into it and trying to just brush off the extra so that you can really see the corners, because it's really pretty. And I think it's gonna turn out beautiful. You know, despite the colossal mess that I made everywhere, I had to clean my kitchen anyway, so whatever, it's all good. So what you're gonna wanna do now is just leave them to dry overnight, or you can leave them in your fridge for a few hours and then you're good to go. You can just pop them out and put them in your shower whenever you want. And yeah, that's it. So I hope, my friends, so it's been overnight. It's actually it's almost 4:30, so it's been almost 24 hours. So I did have a few suggestions that I noticed. I already popped one out to see how it was, and not bad, but so here was my mistake. Originally, I put them in the fridge, and 5 hours later I looked, they were really hard, and it looked like they kept their form very nicely. For some reason, I decided that I wanted to take them out and leave them on the counter. That was a bad idea. The cold going to the warm kind of messed them a little bit and made them more crumbly. So I would definitely recommend leaving them in your fridge the whole night until they become solid. So aside from that, I'm just gonna start popping these out, and hopefully the rest of them look decent. So I'm just gonna very carefully kind of push from the bottom and pop it out. Hopefully the pattern stays. Looks like this one got a little messed up. Yeah, it got a little messed up. So you can see most of the pattern, but not the top. That's probably because it got warm and some of it stuck in the grooves. If I didn't have such an intricate pattern here, they likely would have kept a little bit better. And I'm just gonna store them in a little mason jar. All right, and then let's continue. Yeah, see, they're coming apart a little bit. I'm gonna probably let them cool a little more. Let's see, this one looks okay. Okay, so this one got a little bit messed up right here. Some of it stuck to the mold, but I just want to show you how to place it. So I have the shower on here, and you want to kind of put it at the very side of the stream, but a little close to the drain so that it's working enough but not disintegrating. And then you can see it start to fizz, and then you can enjoy it during your shower. I'm going to move it out a little bit more so it lasts longer. And that's it. Okay, so it actually worked really well in the shower, despite the slight malfunction of the mold not completely coming out the way I wanted it to. Like I said, the mold that I chose had very, very tiny little details, and the material that we're working with isn't necessarily going to form to it as well. So that was my mistake, but you can still see a decent amount of the design. So in the shower, it disintegrated pretty quickly, but the aromas were beautiful. I also decided at one point to plug the drain to let it fill up the tub a little bit, because the baking soda is actually very alkaline, and it's really great to soak in that a little bit too. And one thing that I was worried about is the beet powder staining the tub. It didn't stain it at all, so don't worry about it. The rose petals were small enough that they went down the drain. Hopefully didn't clog it, but also the scent of the eucalyptus and the lavender was really, really beautiful, and it made the entire bathroom smell like a spa. So I would definitely recommend them as bath bombs or shower steamers, whatever you want to do with it. And now I have my little mason jar of my little guys here. Mine are pretty big, so if you want to make smaller ones, you'll definitely get a few more uses out of them. And you can also break these in half if you want to make them last a little bit longer. But overall, I think it worked out pretty well. So just my tips, keep them in the shower, and maybe choose a mold that doesn't have such intricate details in it so it doesn't get stuck like mine did. Who knows what would have happened if I kept them in the fridge. It might have worked. Whatever. But yeah, so much for watching my video. If you enjoyed it, please leave me a thumbs up and a comment. Subscribe if you'd like to follow the rest of my journey and my weird DIYs. But either way, I appreciate you all, and I hope you have a beautiful weekend.